Hey up Tube viewers, it's Jonathan G here. I'm just here blatantly to espouse the virtues of my 3 books. First of all, with no further ado or no blathering to such a extraneous degree, here's the first of the 3, which is right there. It's called Tales from the Wayland, and it's a collection of 4 short stories, all set in, around, and even south of southern New Zealand. Yes, there is a south, further south of New Zealand, if you can believe that. Not much of it, though. You have to do a fair old ocean voyage, as this man here did. I call him Mitch Broughton, based on an ancestor based on a historical figure by the name of Broughton, who was largely responsible for surveying the southern reaches of New Zealand. It's called 3 Days on Teeny Heke. The intemperate and unforgiving rock sentinel of Broughton Island, of the far-flung sub-Antarctic Teeny Heke group, pays witness one day to the arrival of a solitary tourist of a kind. A person of near equal intemperate and craggy nature, Mitch Broughton, a distant relative of the island's European namesake, accompanied by his longtime companion, a parrot of stout if not rhetorical vocabulary, tumble ashore to spend 3 days on Teeny Heke. Next up is a more of a light-hearted ditty, as opposed to 3 Days on Teeny Heke, which is pretty dark, though it has its humor and compensation. And I call this The Adventures of Gladys and Hilda, no relation to Harry Enfield. Gladys Garthportal enjoys a sip, a tipple, the occasional genteel swallow even, and with her best friend Hilda in tow, the 2 elderly chums find themselves more often than not all right on any given night. Through long and stormy Dunedin city nights, along wind-whipped streets, or while occasioning a beloved locale or another, the 2 find shelter within each other's company. With an unexpected friend or 2 collected haphazardly along the way, my eyes are going, Jesus Christ. The human body, people, it's not designed to last much past 40 years old. That's why I've got this in compensation, see? In reality, I'm 28. With an unexpected friend or 2 collected haphazardly along the way, Glad and Hild find their wee southern niche broadening in ways neither of them could ever have imagined. This is why I don't read audiobooks. I did one attempt to read Waterline, one of the stories in this book, a while back on YouTube. It was terrible. You should have paid witness to the amount of wrangling I had to do on the Adobe Movie Maker thing. It was like a 3-day saga. Every second sentence needs to be scrubbed and all that. It was just like that. Anyway, next story is called Along the Hills and Dales, and there's not much to tell of it. You just have to read it. A remembrance of time spent within a timeless land. A bit of a recollection of growing up in that heinous southern locale of Dunedin City and its surroundings. Next up is Waterline, the journey of SS Te Waka from Scottish birth to an Edinburgh of the South is paralleled by the intrepidly roving lineage of the Adler family. And incidentally, this last little story is based on, incorporates a ship that was a working dredge that was recently scrapped in Dunedin City, much to the chagrin, that's not the word, disappointment of so many local folks and others from around the world. A very historic ship in its way, historic. And it was sad to see her go, along with so much else Dunedin has to offer. Dunedin is an oddity in terms of architecture and, so much else. Basically culture, Scottish for the most part. There's very few places nowadays that you can go to and find that are so unaltered. a lot of people avoid Dunedin in their meanderings of New Zealand, and it's a shame because it has a lot to offer. So there you go. That's Tales from Wayland. Regardless of my blitherings, I can speak sometimes, I assure you. Next up is Voyage. It's a science fiction novella. I wouldn't call it a novel. It's a novella. And it's in 3 parts, 3 very bewildering wee parts, which I managed to bring together at the end. I won't tell you about the end. Part 1. An inorganic man, Drone 3, wakes en route from a long-forgotten point of departure to the appearance of an ethereal female entity with an unknowable destination and gradual approach upon the galactic horizon, and while in perpetual attempt to gain some sense of situation at hand, 3 finds himself at increasing odds with the ship's, Nishar's, ubiquitous control computer. Part 2. Across the solar realm, the age-old hope of interstellar contact has begun to fade. In the year 4085, a long-awaited response is detected, one which appears quite literally to have originated from beyond the stars. This brings with it a most dark and unexpected proposition. Part 3. By millennial recount of a life given to wander an uninhabited Earth, its last sentient being, Drone 43, contends with the mysterious denizens of Alberio 12, this distant legacy to human technology which nears its own end in a dimension far removed from that of the known universe. So there you go. Voyage. These are available through Amazon.com. I'll spell my name at the end. Being a stoutly delivered Northern English name, you have to write it down. See, very special. I come from a long line of writers. My computer's playing silly buggers on me. A long line of writers, I say. Yeah, right. That's what my people have done for many centuries. I've had to crawl out of that mindset over many years, but I still indulge in an occasional tipple, if not a genteel tipple. Third in the list, and finally, my space opera, The Twilight Shore. 531. No, what was it? I got the. I'm also. What's the word? I get things backward. I can't even think of the frickin' word. 513 pages long, and still pretty long. So here we go. The crew of Regillian intergalactic class freighter Blue Star are in for an unusual homeward journey. From a 43rd century Earth to an altogether unexpected destination, they find themselves unwitting couriers of a mysterious, highly sought-after object. As their plight of unwilling fancy unfurls about them, a never-before realized strand of possibility presents itself in the face of otherwise long-accepted complacency. I can tell you a few things about that. A suggestion voiced from the periphery echoes across the void as Palos Iridium and crew meander forth with a few newly found and never before suspected friends in tow. And there you go. That's my worth in the written form. It took me eight odd years of my life to finally get that bollocks together, and with the final re-edit, which has taken the last 6 months of my life, not so too colorful as it otherwise is here in Albuquerque, New Mexico. And it's given me some time to otherwise do something that has meant something to me, which these do. So I hope those who are inclined, get a chance to get onto Amazon.com and have a look-see. And you know what? I will put on my name at the end. I was just gonna close up my name on one of the books, but I'll write it on the end. So fair reading, and tell me what you think via the email on the books, because I've basically shut down my YouTube channel in terms of commentary, because I was, to be honest, getting fairly sick of these nitwits. I don't know who these people are, little 13-year-old kids who sit in darkened rooms in the southern reaches of Portugal or somewhere, and just spend their short lives commenting on people's efforts through the YouTube. You know, my self-made videos to all these songs which have meant so much to me over the years. I mean, it's not rocket science. It's not supposed to mean much, but Jesus Christ, lay off. It's like these old fuckers are, excuse my French, or Portuguese, as it were. It's like they're freaking Harvard literary critics, or not literary critics, but you know what I mean. What's the word? Film critics? That's the word, Jonathan. Or video critics. Music video critics. Anyway, enough of that. I won't allow any more bloody commentary. You can comment on my books, but not on my bloody videos. Like them or leave them. You don't have to watch. Goodbye. Take care.